Hello again, BBs, and welcome back to, I guess this is part 6 of our playthrough of Beacon Pines, and let's get into it.
His hands were bound with rope, his feet tied with some loose string. The kids huddled in a circle, discussing their plan. One thing was certain, they couldn't just let Mr. Tolliver go. They needed to know what he was doing in Luca's house. After
Yeah,
some
why did he just
deliberation,
come in unannounced? That's the real
it was
question.
decided.
They run the classic cop, good cop, blank cop interrogation. It's chill cop, hard cop. So good cop, hard cop. We'll go with it.
They'd run
Why
the
not?
classic good cop, hard cop interrogation.
Let's hear it.
Rollo brandished a steely gaze.
I can't see
I've got
Rolo
this.
being that
Read
hard.
about it 100 times.
Read about it 100 times? Come on now.
Rollo swaggered past the chair which propped up the slumping Hiram Tolliver. Without even looking at his captive, he began with a long, blustery drawl.
Well, Mr. Tolliver.
Mr. Tolliver remained motionless.
Yeah, he's
Rollo
unconscious.
spun around to face him. He'd clearly expected to rouse Mr. Tolliver with his booming voice.
Mr.
Beck
Tolliver?
and Luca gave each other an unsure glance. Rollo slammed his fist on the table.
I said, Mr. Tolliver!
He grabbed the table lamp and beamed it onto the unconscious face.
That got
Mr.
his
Tolliver
attention.
groaned and slowly lifted his head. He recoiled with a muddled, weary squint.
What in the world?
The chair wobbled as he attempted to straighten up.
Who's there?
Mr. Tolliver could only make out rough shapes through the glaring light. With a gruff tone, Rollo hoped to both conceal his voice and intimidate.
I'll be asking the questions here, punk. Now hold on, let's just calm down. Oh, I am calm. Calm as a carrot in dirt. Why would you say that? As for you, looks like you're sweating.
The doubtful expression on Beck and Luca's faces transformed into awe.
We can do this my way, or, well, let's just say I've never needed another way.
Rollo, hitting his stride, was now channeling every detective trope his memory could recall. He slammed the table again.
Now dance! What? I don't even...
Mr. Tolliver's voice became desperate. He was nearly in tears.
Aw, you tied me down. How on earth could I dance? Dance with your mouth, punk. Spill the beans. What are you doing poking around this house? I'm here to help Juniper. To make sure everything's ready. Oh, so you're in cahoots with Gran. Gran?
Mr. Tolliver was in a daze, now more confused than ever.
Gonna help her blow up the festival, eh? Blow up the festival? Good
He
lord.
shook his head, feeling more and more dizzy.
No, you've got it all wrong. Where is she now? She's headed to the source. Source? What's the source? It's
His
where
voice faded to a whisper.
the town began. Where it all began. What is Operation Sparkplug?
With that, Mr. Tolliver passed out cold.
Oh. Bless him,
Rollo
that you
swung
knocked him a
around
little
with
too
a
hard, Rolo.
repentant grimace.
Damn, Rolo. I think you went a little too hard on him. What did he say about the source? It's where the town began? We need more information. Yeah, but we'd better not push Mr. Tolliver any farther. Is there anyone else who might know more? What about the museum, History Museum? It just got set up for the festival. Nah, that tent was put up by the Valentines. Everything they do is just a bunch of fluff to glorify themselves. Is there anything more reliable? The library. If there's any information about this source thing, Kato can help us find it. Let's go get some answers. Yes, let's go visit the penguin in the library. Love him. He's so cute. Oh, look at him. This is a dang nice library. Thanks, we work hard on it. Aren't you a little too adorable to be a librarian? Oh, Kato hung out here so much, eventually they gave him a set of keys. I just keep an eye on the place for Miss Novak sometimes. They got you working here for free? It's quiet, and I get access to all the books I can read. What more could a person want? I mean, you could buy your own books if you were getting paid. What can I do for you all? We need a favor. I already told you and Rolo. I can't put you any higher on the wait list for the next Hank Atomic. And if you're here with more candy, I'll have you know I can't be bought. Call it a personal code of conscience. Actually, we're looking to do some research. Now you're speaking my language. What are you looking for? That's the thing. We sort of don't know. What do you got on the history of the town? There's the county record archives. What's in those? Births, deaths, newspaper clippings, stuff like that. Pretty boring reading. But they do go all the way back to when the town was founded. Great, we'll start there. Fun.
Chapter 8. 6 feet under, 3 towns over. The kids spent the rest of the afternoon combing through dusty piles of old county records, desperately searching for anything that could help them make sense of Mr. Tolliver's cryptic utterance. Luca tried to shake the thought of Gran's basement, but his focus wavered. Explosives, messages hidden in jam, dossiers on various town figures, and a corkboard threaded with photos. Gran was the only family he had left. He still couldn't bring himself to believe the worst, but the old map with the symbol of explosives in town square made that difficult. As the sun began to set, the kids were no closer to the truth.
Just go to the place where she's planning to be blowing up stuff. If I have to read any more records, my eyeballs are gonna pop. We have to keep digging. If I dig another word, I'm gonna end up in one of these asinine death records. Rolbo Cotter lived a full and wonderful life, till he read so much boring crud that his brain oozed out of his ears.
Rollo shut his book with an assertive nod.
If you've got a better idea, spit it out. You sound like my sister. Keep pushing your luck, pal. And it won't be boring county records that kill you. I'll put you in the obituaries myself.
Rollo muttered under his breath.
You're a county record. Really? That's the best you've got? When I'm done with you, you'll be the footnote in history. Just like...
Beck slammed her finger down on the open page before glancing down to read.
J. Hartford here. I'd love to see you try. Hey. We're all a little tired here. Let's just take a minute and...
Something tickled the back of Luca's mind.
Wait, what was that name, Beck? In the obit? J. Hartford. From the Brookville Tribune 8 years ago. That can't be right. What is it? J. Hartford. That's my Gran's name. Juniper Hartford. Maybe there were 2 Juniper Hartfords? Mrs. Hartford is survived by her young daughter, E. Hartford. My mom's name is Eleanor. Okay, this is getting creepy. Is your Gran... If your Gran is 6 feet under, 3 towns over, then who am I living with?
The question
You really
hung
think that
in the
it's
air.
not the same person? Alright, gang. I gotta close up for the night.
Beck rubbed her eyes.
How late is it? Almost 10. Oh crap, Pa's gonna kill me. I gotta go. Yeah, my parents will be worried sick. Okay, let's meet up as early as we can tomorrow at the festival tomorrow. What are you gonna do about the unconscious man in your basement? I'll think of something. I'd imagine Gran's already home and discovered him.
Luca's heart was pounding as he approached the house. If he was lucky, Gran, or whoever it was, hadn't gotten back yet. And of course, there was Mr.
You
Tolliver
really think
tied up
someone's
and unconscious in
pretending
the
to be his
basement.
grandma?
Dealing
Oh,
with
no.
him would be the first order of business. Luca shook out his arms to calm his nerves before entering.
Uh-oh.
He held perfectly still, tempering his breath, and listened closely.
She's asleep.
She was asleep. His only hope was that she hadn't found Mr. Tolliver before dozing off.
Don't mind me, Gran. Just gonna keep walking. Why did it not close shut, though? Oh, she found him. She knows that we know. Oh, no.
Mr. Tolliver was nowhere to be seen.
Maybe he woke up escaped from his bindings and left without a
Or
trace.
maybe Gran knew everything.
What do I do?
Luca's hungry stomach groaned. Not realizing it, he'd gone the entire day without eating.
Okay, I can figure this out. Just need a little brain food.
Luca rushed over to the pile of jam jars, unscrewed one, and shoveled a handful into his mouth.
Really? I'm afraid your jam delivery will be
He
delayed.
flipped the lid to read the label.
Mr. Nuncreed. Okay, now I can think. So if Gran knows we tied up Mr. Tolliver, I'm screwed. If she doesn't know, then I need to play it cool. I guess the only option is to go to bed and act as if nothing is wrong. Gran will think Mr. Tolliver finished what he was sent to do and left when he was done. Alright, can we get to sleep though? Will Gran notice that we're here? Oh, she's gone. Uh-oh. Gran? Okay, stick to the plan. Go to bed, play it cool. I would have left. I would have not gone home. I'd be like, I'm staying.
As Luca climbed
At my
the final
friend's house.
stair, the emotion of the day dragged heavily on him. With each consecutive step, his legs weakened.
Uh-oh.
His stride began to falter. He tried to grab for
jam,
the
was it
railing to steady
poisoned?
himself. Something was wrong.
Come on, legs. Just a few more steps. Oh!
Luca groaned and tried to move. His limbs might as well have been bolted to the ground. Through numb lips, he mumbled just before falling asleep.
Yeah, I think the jam was laced, buddy. Sweet boy. What did you get yourself into? I hope Grandma's a good guy. Rest now and let me handle everything.
Chapter 9. A speech to end
Oh.
all speeches. Luca awoke to find himself face down in bed. He moaned into his pillow. Why would Gran drug him?
You
rather,
ate the jams and that
why
were
was she
Mr.
trying to
Nuncreed,
drug
so clearly
Mr.
she's trying to
Nuncreed?
drug Mr. Nuncreed. Mm-hmm. It's because Nuncreed's up to something.
Shaking the
so if
questions
maybe
from
she
his woozy
keeps him
head,
asleep,
Luca snapped back to the matter at hand.
that keeps him from doing whatever he's doing. The festival. Are your legs okay? Can you make it? Come on. There they are. Oh, they were coming to look for you. Where have you been? Gran put something in the jam. Yeah, we know. Secret message for secret conspirators. No, not this one. The one intended for Mr. Nuncreed. Put me to sleep. Whoa, ho, ho. Sly devil. I think she's trying to remove him from the equation. He might be in danger. Have you found anything? We looked around but haven't seen anything odd. Your Gran is nowhere to be found. But Mr. Nuncreed is just loafing around waiting for the speech. What speech? Mary Gus just got up on the podium. Everyone's gathering at the stage. Let's get moving.
Augustus Valentine nervously wiped his brow.
Is this thing... Oh, Lord. Hello, Beacon Pines. I'm August Valentine, your mayor, and I suppose you already know that. Oh yes, before we get started, just wanted to take a moment to recognize someone who couldn't be here today. This town wouldn't be where it is today without my father, Sharper Valentine. So I thought we could begin with a round of applause befitting such a great man. Even that's more than the old codger gizzard, jeez.
Gus cleared his throat and awkwardly loosened his tie.
Aw. Right, where was I?
William Kerr bounded on the stage with the energy of a preacher at a big tent revival.
Gus Valentine, everyone.
He gave Gus a hearty slap on the back and motioned him off the stage.
Let's hear it for our mayor. What a great turnout. Oh heck, I didn't prepare anything. But I suppose I could say a few words. Would be ashamed to waste such a beautiful podium.
Mr. Kerr pulled a thick stack of note cards out from his vest.
Didn't prepare anything, did you? Community, conviction, commitment. These are the things we celebrate at Perennial Harvest. For us, these are the pillars of the bridge to a better tomorrow. But I think it's time to add a new pillar. Change. Change is a powerful thing. It's inexplorable, unavoidable, and undeniable. And I am dadgum thankful for it. Change is the reason we're all here today. It's hard for me to believe that it was only 4 years ago when fate brought me here. A simple business trip which brought me to a small town which would change my life forever.
Mr. Kerr took a moment to survey the crowd.
You know what?
He wiped away a single tear.
From the second I set foot in Beacon Pines, something about this place has held me captive. You see, change represents opportunity. It represents potential. It was change that helped me recognize the potential of this place. To see that the people of this town, despite suffering great loss, still held on to things that made them special.
He thumped the podium to emphasize each word.
Community, conviction, commitment, change.
Mr. Kerr nodded confidently, biting his lip. The crowd was silent, in rapt attention.
Fate made a perfect match that day. Nothing is more important to you all than community. And pruning the harvest is a community first and foremost.
Mr. Kerr methodically made eye contact with each section of the crowd.
The only way you made it through the foul harvest was an unshakable conviction. Conviction that a better tomorrow was just over the horizon. Pruning the harvest was founded on the conviction that we are that horizon. This festival is a symbol of our commitment to each other.
His voice began to build to a crescendo.
We now walk hand in hand into a future we shape together. And that is what change is all about. Grabbing the future by the scruff of the neck and making things happen. Change is a choice. I am tickled pink that we will all be making that choice together. How great is that? Just imagine what we can accomplish. And something blew up. What was that?
The crowd began to look around nervously.
Don't worry, a little thunder isn't going to ruin this day. Everyone remain calm.
Mr. Kerr quickly flicked through his note cards.
Where was I? Through all of my travels, I have learned one true thing. One always reaps what they sow. We have all planted a lot of good in this town. And so, it is with a happy heart that I can proclaim.
He raised his hands up to the heavens.
Our harvest awaits. Oh god. Not again! Come on.
At that moment, a merciless wall of impossibly cold air ripped through the crowd, instantly freezing everyone and everything it touched. For a man like William Kerr, this was a fitting way for things to end. On a stage, with an entire town frozen in rapt attention for the rest of time. The end.
Bro, how do we not get this to happen?
There's that ice again! Whenever I think we're getting close, it comes along and ruins everything! Maybe we should just quit? Maybe you should just close the book, walk away, and never think of me again!
Okay.
No, I don't mean that. We got a little closer this time. We just need to try again. Please.
Alright. So we've done all of these. What happens if we go to this one and we try to change it instead? So this is when they were in the middle of all the clipboards and Kerr coming over, and we saw the kid that we pushed into the radioactive puddle become a monster. And now we're hanging out here.
Luca drew himself up and decided to take the only option
I doubt
he had
this
left.
will do anything.
Flight. He squinted down the barrel of the mission control defense cannon, aiming it through an opening in the dense tree branches.
Will it actually work though?
He looked up with surprise
It does work.
as it struck true and taut.
Wow, I can't believe that worked. Hey, Mr. Kerr. We'd love to hear your thoughts, but I'm afraid we have places to be. Come on, Iggy. See ya, jerks. Okay. Fine, we know where that leads them. This way, we'll take the tunnels.
Luca and Iggy winced as they sprinted through the thicket. The branches clawed at them, reluctant to give passage. After what felt like a marathon, Luca stopped in his tracks as they reached the clearing. What the? That was all he was able to say before Iggy slammed into his back. The boys tumbled down a steep decline and crashed with a wheezing thud on a surface as hard as ice. In fact, it was ice. Chapter 5. Signs.
So now we know where the ice is gonna come from.
They stood silently, catching their breath. The sky was like sapphire. With each breath, a plume of steam escaped from Luca's lungs. Let's keep moving.
What the
Luca
heck is
pulled
happening
Iggy to
here?
his feet as they gazed across a snowy terrain.
Went from summer to winter. That was actually pretty badass. Uh-huh. I think we lost him. Are we up in the mountains? I don't think so. If anything, we went downhill. Then what's up with the winter wonderland? All I know is there's no going back the way we came. Let's see if we can get our bearings. Follow me. I'm gonna peek through here and see what this is. Luca, are you there?
Luca had almost forgotten the walkie-talkie he was carrying.
It's that bozo Kerr. I hope nothing bad has happened to you out in those woods.
Luca looked at Iggy with hesitation.
No need to be rude.
With a resigned sigh, Luca responded.
It seems like the only dangerous thing in the woods is you. He speaks, the young man of the hour. Now, how in tarnation did you end up with one of these radios? Just lucky, I guess. Boy howdy, you Van Horns are full of surprises, aren't you? You knew my parents? I never had the honor of meeting your father, but your mom sure was a handful.
Luca winced,
that asshole.
shoving the walkie-talkie back into his pocket.
What'd you do to our mom? We gotta keep moving. Okay, so there's nothing else around here.
A disc of smooth metal was lightly covered in snow. 2 faint seams were visible along.
A manhole cover? If it is, I've never seen one like it. Oh, shoot. Wait a second. It's like Beacon Pines, but cold. Are we in another, like, dimension? What's the readout? Sitting just above 258 Kelvin. God, that's so cold. That's down a bit from last time. Should we report that to Mr. Kerr? Meh, still within safe ranges. It may be spreading, but it's under control for now. Even a small nudge in the equilibrium could cause a cascade. Dude, relax. Just a few more sites to hit before we punch out. Let's get this over with. What is going on with this place? What's all this? Hard to say with all this snow. I think it's a town sign. I can almost make out the letters under there. What town could this even be? There couldn't be another town this deep into Weepwood. I'm looking at evidence to the contrary. Let's figure out what we're dealing with here. Step 1, snow's gotta go. I'll see what I can do. Okay, here we go. It's gonna say Beacon Pines.
The boys stared in
What is
disbelief
this?
at the sign that now clearly read, "Welcome to Beacon Pines."
This doesn't make any sense. We're in Beacon Pines? How's that possible? We ran away from town. How did we get back here? I guess we got turned around. This is like some Stranger Things type of nonsense, like we just went into the Upside Down. Where did all this snow come from? Well, it's been colder than normal lately. There's a pretty big difference between the sweater weather and this Arctic hellscape. The puddle we fought at before. It was cold too. Maybe all of it leads to one source. You think it's related? What the hell is going on? We're gonna get you some answers. Let's keep moving. What on earth, bro? Wow. It's like the whole town just froze over. But it's all it's all repeated. Your stuff looks familiar to you? It looks like the barrels near the puddle I shoved me into, yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't know it would do that to you. It's all frozen.
Looking down at the frozen stream, Luca could faintly see a school of minnows encased in the ice.
Oh, poor minnows. Whatever happened here, it happened fast. The fish didn't even have time to run. Or, you know, swim run.
The crunching of footsteps trailing Luca went
It's
hush.
interesting that was this where perennial harvest was, but it doesn't look the same.
He looked back to see Iggy's face twisted with confusion.
Everyone's gone. What? There's nothing here but more snow. There must be an explanation for all of this. We have to keep looking. You can look all you want. I quit. Iggy, we have to keep going. You don't get it, do you? This isn't one of your pathetic hang-atomic stories. We aren't going to save the day. We aren't going to even save ourselves. My face is mangled. The town is destroyed, and everyone we're ever known is gone. We've ever known. We don't know that. You can't just quit. Do whatever you want. I'm done. Aw. Don't give up, man. We can do this. Iggy, it's gonna be okay.
Luca peered upward at the darkening sky. He let out a long, foggy breath. Faintly, Iggy began to cry. Seeing
I
Iggy
feel
in
bad
such
for
a
the little
pathetic state
butthole.
gave Luca a sense of compassion, and more than a little guilt.
It is getting pretty late, I think. Probably not a great idea to swim around in the dark anyway.
Luca allowed himself to collapse next to Iggy.
Let's just rest for a
The
bit. Y'all are
boys
gonna
huddled
freeze to
together
death
for
out here.
warmth and comfort. If not for
You
exhaustion,
could at least go
their
inside.
minds would be racing, trying to make sense of the events of the day. As it was, all they had energy for was to sit in silence, numb.
You would literally freeze. Luca's sweatshirt is not going to keep him warm. The way the snow covered everything over, it's kind of calming. Yeah. I haven't had time to say it, but thanks. Huh? For getting us away from those creeps. I sorta froze up back there. Iggy, I should be the one apologizing. This all happened because I lost my temper. Nah, that's bull hockey. First of all, you didn't know what the gunk would do. You didn't, right? Of course not. And second, stop with this baloney about losing your temper. But I did lose my temper.
Iggy motioned sarcastically to his half-deformed face.
Obviously. That's exactly what you should have done. Huh? I was being a horse's ass. You were supposed to be a horse's ass in response. That's how it works. Iggy, I'm having a hard time following. You wanted me to fight you? Of course. Jeez, goody-goody types take forever to understand the very basic point. Why would you go around saying cruel things trying to get into
Iggy
fights?
shrugged.
Something I do. You're an asshole because you're bored? Sometimes I just feel empty. You wouldn't understand. You and Will are always having a blast together. Laughing and calling that dinky little treehouse mission control.
Iggy now wept openly.
Perfect little Luca Van Horn with his perfect little life. My life is not perfect. Everybody in town likes you. Not everybody. Hell, that new girl hasn't even unpacked yet, and she already likes you. You have
He
Tish.
wiped his nose with a sleeve.
I love Tish. Tish is great. But she ain't exactly the world's greatest conversationalist, you know?
Luca gave a warm chuckle.
I get that impression.
Iggy cleared his throat as he wiped his eyes.
Huh. Must be raining out here. Definitely.
Iggy arched
Aw,
into a
they're
wide
cute.
yawn.
We should probably try to get some sleep. Yeah. Let's lay low for now. Tomorrow we'll get to the bottom of all this.
Luca's eyelids began to slowly drift shut.
Luca? Yeah. I always did want to see the inside of your dinky little treehouse. What do you think? Not bad. I'll give you the full tour when we get back. You know what?
That's all Luca could whisper before succumbing to sleep. Iggy snuggled in some more.
When it comes to worst days of my entire life, this one wasn't half bad. Really? Of all days, this was not bad.
The house smelled of warm bread. Luca was playing with toy blocks on the living room rug. He looked up to see his parents on the couch. His mother held his father's head in her lap. She idly stroked his hair while humming a song. A voice behind Luca spoke. "This is how you remember them, huh?" Luca turned to see his own face. The doppelganger from his dreams, still clad in a yellow hazmat suit, still carrying a look of disdain behind empty eyes. Aww, look at this perfectly cozy scene. You know it wasn't really like this. The figure picked up a toy block and inspected it. It's amazing the facades that one can build given the right materials. Not that I blame us. These are a child's memories, all warm and fuzzy. You don't remember, do you? Lucas snatched the block from the figure's yellow-gloved hand. Remember what? The doppelganger pointed to the couch. The last day we saw him alive. The day he chose to abandon us. Luca turned to look at his father, still lounging on the couch. That's not true. He didn't abandon us. The doppelganger waved his hand dismissively. Everything is true here. It's just a matter of what we choose to see. Let me show you. The world flickered and pulsed. Luca was sitting next to his bed, listening to his heartbeat with one of his dad's stethoscopes. The doppelganger limped into the room. Now, we both know that's not how this went. He grabbed Luca's hand and guided the stethoscope to the floor. Luca heard muffled shouting, brought close by the stethoscope. It was his parents, fighting. Do you remember what we did next? Luca gave a slow nod and crept down the hall to peek through the banister. He could see the outline of his mother at the bottom of the stairs. Damn it, Walt. We can't afford to get involved in this. She was scared. His father stepped forward. What am I supposed to do? Just watch? There's a sickness in this town, and we both know who's behind it. I swore an oath to help people. I won't turn my back on them. Luca's mother grabbed Walt. She was crying, pleading. I can't lose you. Walt calmly removed Eleanor's hand from his shoulder. What's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong. I could never live with myself if I let Sharper get away with this. Eleanor raised her voice. Spare me your bullshit platitudes. What about our son? Luca flinched, dropping the stethoscope down the stairs. Walt turned with a panicked smile. Luca, is that you, buddy? With tears in his eyes, Luca descended the stairs. Mom? Dad? What's going on? Walt dropped to a knee to meet Luca eye to eye. Nothing, buckaroo. Your mom and I just got a little overexcited is all. Luca placed the stethoscope against his father's chest. His heart was racing. It sounded like you were going somewhere? Walt gently removed the device from Luca's ears. Listen to me, Luca. I have some business to take care of. I'll be back in time to tuck you in. Luca hugged his father tightly. Promise? Walt stood up and walked to the door. He glanced over his shoulder. I promise. With a wink and a
he
grin,
never came back.
he put on his hat and strode out into the evening sun. A figure approached soundlessly from the foggy snowfall. It stood above them, lingering in contemplation. Slowly raising one hand above Iggy, it snapped out 2 brisk raps on his head. From a deep slumber, Iggy sprang up defensively.
Get your hands off me.
Whether it was the calming presence or the recognition that he was not in danger, Iggy felt his clenched fists lower.
Just what do you think you're doing?
Luca looked up, gradually remembering his whereabouts. The figure exhaled a cloud of warm vapor.
You two certainly have caused a lot of commotion. What's that supposed to mean? Take it easy, Iggy. We were asleep minding our own business. You're the one running around knocking on people's heads. I'm sorry if I hurt you, Iggy. You didn't hurt nobody. Anybody. Huh? Oh, I see. You think you're better than me, you...
When it came to complete strangers, Iggy had trouble cobbling together an insult.
Well, clearly the stranger knows you. You big-hatted, scarfy-necked furball. Okay, let's lower the temperature a bit here. Interesting choice of words. I mean, let's all just calm down. Who are you? A friend. An observer. A hitchhiker in the infinite expanse of possibility. Great. How about a name? If you must call me something, you can call me Nat.
Iggy huffed with gratification.
How about you make like a gnat and buzz off? Very well.
Nat began to turn away indifferently.
Wait. Do you live here? You might say that. So you know where we are? You might also say that. Look, pal, we just want to find out a safe way out of here. You gonna help us or not? Before I know knowing how to leave, one must know where they are. Alright, that does it. Look, I don't know about you, but I'm getting out of here one way or another.
Iggy turned sharply and began to stomp off.
Enough with the riddles. Iggy, wait up.
Realizing he'd worn their patience then, Nat relented.
Very well. I suppose this isn't the time for metaphors. I'll show you how to get back home.
Luca and Iggy turned around with hope in their eyes.
Come here.
Nat took a deep breath in.
Close your eyes.
Nat exhaled slowly, then snapped his fingers.
Okay, open them.
For a brief moment, Luca and Iggy let themselves believe that some great magic was about to unfold, until they opened their eyes and found themselves in the exact same place, cold and disheartened.
This is your home. This is Beacon Pines. Nat, look, we don't know how we got here. Maybe we stumbled through some time travel gate in Weekwood, or we teleported to some alternate universe, or this is all just some cruel experiment by Kerr and his goons. But this is not our home. You're inching closer to the truth. Alas, the reality is much less fanciful. Just give it to us straight. So be it. As I said, this is Beacon Pines. The original, true Beacon Pines. So they have just been remaking the city over and over again. You both grew up here, but the town you've called your home for the past several years is a replica. A remarkable achievement of engineering, to be fair, but a replica nonetheless. That's impossible. It's too much work. You'd need a whole town to replicate a whole town. Indeed, to pull off such a feat would require immense labor power. That would be which could be moved would be moved. That which could not would replicate a precise duplicate. We would have noticed. Someone would have noticed. You'd think so, unless the auditing was impeccable. A mind-numbing attention to detail. As for the innumerable trivialities? I don't know. Which complete the tapestry. Well, you can leave that to this miraculous thing we call a brain. As a real aversion to this continuity. A revulsion, even. The brain was a... I can't talk today. The brain was a wonderful way of smoothing out the rough edges, keeping us sane. Luca and Iggy looked around uncomfortably. So you're saying that someone made an entire new town and moved us all and no one noticed? Precisely. But why? Why is the one question that can never be answered with certainty. The best one can do is to uncover.
Nat narrowed his eyes, furrowed his brow, and uttered,
The source. Why'd you say the source like that? Why indeed?
Luca began to laugh uncomfortably.
It's all ridiculous. There's no way they could.
He looked down at his feet. His eyes started back and forth in contemplation. With a sudden pain, a thought struck him.
If this really is home,
he sprinted off into the pale distance.
Is he gonna try to
As
find
Iggy turned to follow, Nat
the
called out,
house? But no, that would have been right there. Iggy, it's not too late to turn back. Simply head west through Weepwood.
Chapter
I figured he'd be
6.
going to the treehouse, but the treehouse would have been there where that gate is.
The source.
Alright, this is the end of this video, so hope that you guys have been enjoying it. As always, if you want to continue to follow the story and you haven't already, just like and subscribe. Put the notification bell on, you'll get a notification for when the next video comes up. I'm also curious about what you all think that this is going to, like, where the story is going to be going. I'm curious what you all think will happen next. Who's the bad guy here? What is really happening in this story? Because I am utterly confused. I think there's so many pathways that lead us back to nothing that I'm getting a little lost. But this game has been so much fun. But I hope to see you guys in the next video, and I will catch you next time. Bye!